what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahama land. March on to glory of their banner waving high. See how the world marks the manner of your bearing, pledged to excel through love and unity. Sing onward, march together to a common loftier goal. Steady sunward, though the weather hide the white at treacherous shore. Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahama land. Till the road you've trod leads unto your God. March on, Bahama land.
Please be seated. Senior government officials and heads of department, leaders and members of the opposition, chairmen and members of the board of directors of the Grand Bahama Port Authority and affiliates, heads of community and youth organizations, Mr. Bill Colgan, chairman of the WAUSM board of directors, chairman and members of the board of directors of Western Atlantic University School of Medicine, WAUSM, Dr. Marcus Bethel, WAUSM board member, Mr. Peter Getz, founding chief executive officer, Dr. Joseph Flaherty, president and chief medical officer, Dr. Paula Wales, executive dean and chief academic officer, Dr. Tanya Arana, senior associate dean of student affairs, Jennifer Dennis, senior associate dean of student operations and finance, faculty, colleagues, students, families, and friends. A pleasant good morning to all of you. Welcome to the January 2023 Western Atlantic University School of Medicine White Coat Ceremony. I am Dr. Laura Welke. I'm the and it is my privilege to be here today as your Master of Ceremony. At this time, I'd like to invite our Executive Dean and Chief Academic Officer of WAUSM, Dr. Paula Wales, to give Dean's remarks. A Harvard Macy Scholar with more than 25 years of experience in U.S. and international medical education, Dr. Wales is among the foremost experts in both accreditation standards and curriculum oversight in North America. Please help me welcome Dr. Wales.
Thank you, Dr. Welke. Protocol having been established, I'd like to greet everyone with a hearty good morning. This is going to be a good class. You responded well. All right. As Dr. Welke said, my name is Dr. Paula Wales, and it is my great honor to serve as the founding executive dean, the chief academic officer, and a professor of medical education at Western Atlantic University School of Medicine, also known as WAUSM. Before joining WAUSM, I served in leadership roles at the Indiana University School of Medicine, Ross University School of Medicine, and I was the founding education dean for Nova Southeastern University's MD program. So I am very happy to be here as the founding dean of Western Atlantic University School of Medicine. This is my 34th white coat ceremony. That's where you all go, oh, she can't possibly be that old. Something is like rattling up here. So I can't believe that it's my 34th white coat ceremony and my 4th Western Atlantic University School of Medicine ceremony. So, yeah, something's like jiggling. This has never happened. More of my white coat ceremonies, so I don't know what is going on. Okay. All right. So thank you so much. All right, I am very grateful to spend this special time with you here today. So in addition to welcoming and thanking our honored guests for attending, I'd also like to welcome our dedicated faculty and staff and our fearless leaders back here. And, oh, thank you. And I'd also like to ask you to join me in giving another round of applause for our January 2023 intern class. Class, as you know, medical school is tough. But I want you to know that you are surrounded by a strong support system of faculty, staff, classmates, and loved ones who will help you get through this exciting and challenging time in your life. Our forward-thinking medical school would not exist without our innovative curriculum and those who developed it. Would the members of our distinguished faculty please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Our medical students would not be here today without the unwavering support of their loved ones. I'm sure all of you have had ups and downs in your unique paths to get to medical school. And I know you are a source of pride for your friends and your families. So I'd like to ask our students' special guests to please stand. If you were invited here today by a student, please stand. And as the Chief Academic Officer of Western Atlantic University School of Medicine, I would be remiss if I left the stage today without doing a quick lesson, giving you a quiz, and a homework assignment. Okay, are you all ready? So here's the lesson. One of the very first things the charter class did was to develop a WAUSM hand signal. Right? This is it. So everybody try this. Okay? All right. No extra wavy fingers, just straight up W. Okay, so that's the lesson. Now here's the quiz. On the count of 3, I'm going to say WAUSM. And when I say WAUSM, you flash the WAUSM hand signal. Now before we do that, this is a mastery quiz. So what that means is we don't move forward until everyone gets it, right? So if we have to do it a couple of times, we will. There's no shame in that, okay? All right. 2, 3, WAUSM. Look at that, is everyone up? By God, first try. Good job. Class with flying colors. Okay, so now here's your homework assignment. For the rest of the day, every time anyone say WAUSM, your job is to flash the hand signal, right? And this is going to be a lot of fun because I have people are going to say WAUSM, but you're going to flash them the sign every time they do, okay? All right, so let's learn a little bit about WAUSM's entering January 2023 class. All right, 38% are male and 62% are female. And yeah. All I want to say about that is may the odds be ever in your favor. Our students range in age from 21 to 40. And in case you're wondering, 28 years, 3 months, and 12 days. And thank you to Sean Powers for calculating that. 8 of our class members have graduate degrees. 7 of them hail from groups considered underrepresented in medicine. 19 members of our class have undergraduate degrees in biology or biological sciences, and we have a few students with undergraduate degrees in Asian studies, anthropology, and criminal studies. Interesting, huh? I think that was interesting. Members from the class come from 2 countries of residence, the United States and the Bahamas. So now is where it might start to get a little competitive, right? So if you feel compelled to cheer for you are invited to do so. Okay, here we go. In terms of U.S. states, the January 2023 entering class comes from 14 different U.S. states. The state sending the most students to the January 2023 WAUSM entering class is, do we need a drum roll? Yeah, or I can just shift and make a drum roll. Texas. All right. Let's see if people beat out Texas. Here we go. The state sending the second most students to the January 2023 WAUSM entering class is, thank you, Florida. Oh, okay. All right. This should be a big group because there's a 3-way tie between the states sending the third most students to the January 2023 WAUSM entering class. They are California, North Carolina, and Ohio. What a good group. All right. Okay, there is a 24-way tie between the undergraduate universities sending the most graduates to your class. For those of you really good at math, that means every student comes from a different undergraduate institution. Right. A few members of the class have parents and or family members who are physicians or other healthcare professionals. Let's hear it for those folks. And speaking of healthcare professionals, 15 members of our class worked as healthcare professionals before coming to medical school. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? So listen to this list. We have medical assistants, licensed substance abuse clinicians, we have phlebotomists, scribes, we even have a student who opened a blood bank in his home community, which is kind of cool, right? We have a person who worked for a mortuary service in the US and has experience performing toxicology, embalming, and doing autopsies, which I thought was pretty cool. We have a US Army combat medic who led a COVID response clinic in Germany at the height of the pandemic. And we thank you for your service. We have some nursing home care providers, some lab techs, we have a registered nursing assistant, we have ultrasound techs, surgical techs, we have a technician from an orthopedic and spine institute, and this is a first for me, we have a skincare business entrepreneur. Yeah, and not surprisingly, that student enters WAUSM with an interest in cardiology. All right, we have cardiology as a guest. Any others? A skin care, the dermatology, you got it. All right. I'm glad that wasn't the first quiz. All right. Several students indicated that they were inspired to go into medicine due to their own health challenges or health challenges of a family member. Students in this class have lived in several countries, including the Bahamas, Germany, Mexico. Not a lot of love for Mexico there. All right. Sweden and the United States. Members of this class come to us with a variety of previous professional experiences. We have construction workers, railroad workers. We have a banker in the class who probably did pretty well in the financial quiz, right? When you did that, all right. We have a pilot. We even have a lawyer who practiced law while going to school full-time to obtain his medicine prerequisites. We have a ranch hand and another student who grew up on a ranch adjacent to a Sioux reservation in South Dakota, which I thought was kind of cool. This class is also an athletic bunch. We have a variety of athletes, including a competitive gymnast who also teaches gymnastics. So if there's a student interest group that wants to get together and do gymnastics, that might be fun. We have runners. We have a D1 softball player. We have a jiu-jitsu professional, bodybuilders, competitive dancers. We have equestrians, surfers, a former competitive soccer player. We have a D3 linebacker, a D1 track athlete who did shot put. We have someone who managed the Toledo women's basketball team. And we have some personal trainers in the group. So our January WAUSM students come to us with a variety of interests. So these are kind of cool. One of our students really likes to go to random restaurants and try new foods. So welcome to Freeport, and we hope you enjoy some of the restaurants here. Now this is interesting. One student found out about WAUSM because his aunt's financial advisor is the father of a member of the charter class. Isn't that kind of cool? We have one of our new students is married to a semester 2 WAUSM student. And we have a student born and raised in Freeport who is a first, There may be even more applause on this one. So we have a student born and raised in Freeport who's a first-generation college student, dreaming of doing her part to bring state-of-the-art medicine to her home country. She has been inspired by the Afro-Caribbean physicians in Freeport. And the good thing is, you all get to rotate with some of these outstanding physician mentors in the community, so you'll get to see firsthand how fantastic they are. We even have a celebrity in the class whose acting credits include 2 feature films and 1 short film, which is pretty cool. Everyone's going, ooh, who's the star? Who's the star? Our faculty will be delighted to know that we have some scholars in the class, including a handful of math and science tutors, as well as a student who's published or who has presented their research findings via poster presentation, which is cool. And this is one of my all-time favorites. We have a Bahamian student who has been working toward her MD degree since career day in kindergarten when she wore a doctor costume to school. And when I read that, I thought, how tickled the little girl inside her must be to don her first white coat today here in her hometown. I suspect more than one of our students whose dream of becoming a doctor is feeling closer today than ever before. And I suspect there are several parents and loved ones here today who helped make those career day costumes and are so very proud to see the hard work of those kindergartners pay off so that they could trade those tiny costumes for a real white coat today. We welcome each of you. We celebrate your diversity and the fact that you are one step closer to becoming the physician you are meant to be. We're glad you're here, and we're humbled to assist you on this noble journey. And we think the future of medicine and the future of WAUSM looks very bright indeed. Thank you.
At this time, it's my honor and pleasure to introduce Dr. Marcus Bethel to give today's keynote address. Dr. Bethel is a consultant internist and administrator at the Lucayan Medical Center right here in Freeport. He is a member of the Medical Association of Bahamas and the American College of Physicians. Dr. Bethel is a member of our WAUSM Board of Directors and has held numerous civic and other leadership positions. Please welcome Dr. Marcus Bethel.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all. I welcome you all to a warm and sunny Freeport. I am sure you were all seduced to come here because of the promotional ads that talked about a warm and sunny Bahamas. Well, little did you know that occasionally we do get cold weather, and that back in 1976, we actually got snow flurries in Freeport. The only time in my lifetime that we've recorded having snow. But if you come from North America, as all of, or most of you do, whenever you get severe storms coming down from Canada through Minnesota and then eventually stretching down to Florida, you will realize that the tail end of that storm catches the northern Bahamas, which includes Freeport. So if you came here figuring it'll be warm and sunny during your years of studies to the students, then you have had a rude awakening when you got up this morning and found how cold it was. Nonetheless, the warmth of the Bahamas is still there as portrayed in its citizenship. We are a country of warm people, even when the sun is not around. And so I want to welcome you all. I want to welcome you all to the Bahamas, and we look forward to a continued relationship as Bahamians with the students and their families who have come to who have come to support them. He wants me to hold it. The family members who have come to support their family members in this effort. Indeed, we as Bahamians are most proud to have WAUSM in our presence, and I want to take this brief opportunity to introduce to you the founding principles of WAUSM in the form of Mr. Getz and, of course, Mr. Colgan. And to say congratulations to all of the efforts that have gone into making WAUSM a sustainable entity in Grand Bahama, and of course recognizing the administrative team and the academic team and the whole team of WAUSM, which we find to be a wonderful addition to the Freeport effort to grow and build a solid community. We welcome them and we say thank you very much for your presence here. Today is indeed a special day in the lives of these medical students, and I want to say to you that the way forward obviously will have many ups and downs as medical students. Those of you will face over the coming years periods of disappointment and periods of failure, perhaps. But stay focused and keep your effort going in terms of wanting to achieve the milestones that will be set before you. There will also be times of mental fatigue and frustration, exhaustion, as you continue your progress through the years of medical studies. But you must continue to have your faith in God and, of course, your family support to help you through what will be some very trying times in order for you to succeed. But success is there, providing you maintain the focus, maintain your effort and your faith. And those of you who eventually do graduate from medical school, I certainly want to take this opportunity to praise your perseverance. I now wish to draw your attention to a few principles that I have, over the years that I have practiced, found very important in understanding the practice of medicine and being a successful physician in the years to come. And first of all, that is embedded in the Hippocratic Oath. All of you by now would have heard of the Hippocratic Oath, which basically is the gospel with respect to the ethics of medical practice. It outlines what is expected of doctors, young doctors, doctors middle-aged and old doctors. As long as you're practicing medicine, the Hippocratic Oath is applicable to your day-to-day activities. And so you want to find, if you haven't already read it, find, read, and inwardly digest the Hippocratic Oath. And a few of the important principles outlined in the Hippocratic Oath include such principles of understanding that the practice of medicine is one that is fully invested in helping those with respect to illnesses, and embedded in the principles of understanding that the healing art of medicine is one that one must always keep before you as you go through life. Amongst those would be such principles of first, what we call primum non nocere, which is first, do no harm. And that means basically that if you find yourself in a situation where you're not sure what you're doing, don't aggravate the problem. Learn to step back and seek advice. Primum non nocere, very important principle of medical practice. And remember that you're not God, so you're not going to heal everybody. In fact, your job is to help everybody as far as their natural abilities will carry them. You're not God, and there are features of health that require time to heal. I call it tincture of time. Many times it's more important than prescribing medication. Tincture of time. Always remember that important element in the healing arts. Additionally, you want to know that wisdom and not egotism should be a founding principle of your practice. Always remain humble and eager to learn. You don't know everything, you will never know everything, but there are many others around you who are educated in various aspects of the healing arts that can support your particular situation. Always try to provide quality service. And quality service is not specific to medicine, it applies to any aspect of life. Always provide quality service. And keep in mind the Rotary principle of he who serves best profits most. Quality service should remain a key element of your practice as you go through life. I was given 5 minutes. I'm now at the 4-minute and 30-second point. So I will begin now to close by saying, finally, there are 4 important A's that all doctors should know. First A, ability, which is acquired through training in a qualified medical school, and of course, continued growth and development even after you have graduated. Ability. Second A, affability. which refers to good communication skills and compassion for your patients. Affable. One must learn to speak and understand what your patients are saying. One must learn to bring oneself to the level of communicating effectively, because you cannot adequately manage a patient unless one understands what the problems are. And the problems are not necessarily physical. Oftentimes they are psychological or mental, and that requires time to sit and understand. Availability. Availability means that you can't spend all your days boating in the Bahamas, golfing in the summers up north, but really find the time to apply to your practice the quality time that makes your practice and your patient's service one of quality. And finally, affordability. Obviously, pricing yourself out of the market isn't helpful. You will then have time to go and practice golfing and boating. And so keep in mind that quality service undergirds all that you will be doing going forward. Quality service is something you must wake up and understand that that is what you're here to do. You are privileged to have the training, and now you have the opportunity in the years to come to provide quality service to those whom you serve. The 4 A's of a qualified, successful, compassionate doctor: ability, affability, availability, and affordability. Again, I thank you all for this opportunity, and I give you my best wishes and hope that God will continue to guide and bless you as you progress through life in your medical profession. Thank you all very much.
To welcome our students to the profession of medicine, I'd like to introduce Dr. Joseph Flaherty, President and Chief Medical Officer of Western Atlantic University School of Medicine. One of the most respected academic leaders in the United States, Dr. Flaherty, a James Scholar, has more than 40 years of experience in the sector, including being Executive Dean at the University of Illinois College of Medicine. Please welcome Dr. Flaherty.
They don't teach you that in medical school. I was about to say, let me just ditto what Dr. Bethel said and move on, but welcome, honored guests, parents, our gracious Bahamian hosts, and you, our new class starting the year 2023. It's been a long haul. As Dean Wales illustrated, some of you have been wanting to be a doctor since kindergarten. Studied, prayed for it, hoped for it. Some of you decided 2 years ago and had to go back and take biochemistry and physiology and AMCAS, and you made it. And here you are with your classmates. They say medical school is where fun comes to die. Don't believe it. There's fun here. There's your colleagues, there's your faculty. We're all here to help you. We welcome you as our junior colleagues, and it is an honor to mentor you towards becoming a good doctor. And here's one essential point I want to make. All of you can graduate. There's no curve, there's no pyramid scheme. We want all of you to make it. You're only working against the tests and the other things you have to do to get through, and we will help you. A French anthropologist said over 100 years ago, he coined the phrase rites of passage. And this is what it is. With a rite of passage, you leave your family, your parents, and you go off to learn a new profession. You learn new skills, new knowledge, new language, new words, and you achieve it, then you go strike out on your own. This is one of the first steps in that rites of passage, starting medical school. Many have told you truthfully, medical school is hard, and it is. Some have described it like drinking water from a fire hydrant. I prefer the ancient riddle of how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time. Keep going, keep pursuing, keep thinking. I'm reminded of when President Kennedy, the beginning of his term in 1961, had the bodacious goal of putting a man on the moon and getting him back within the decade of the 60s. And people said, you can't do it, it's too hard. Nobody, it's impossible. Kennedy's response is, we go to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard. That's where the glory is. You have chosen the hard way. You have to start with the foundations of medicine, the basic sciences, anatomy, physiology, and for me, the dreaded biochemistry, which has a half-life in your brain of 48 hours. You put it in, it goes out. But the knowledge and the facts are only the beginning. You have to see how they're integrated in the pathophysiology, how they're part of the human experience. And then you have to understand how they impact with disease and treatment. I remember when I was in medical school and they finally let us see patients, seeing a man with a pheochromocytoma, another with Wilson's hepatolenticular degeneration. And these are great, rare, and exciting diseases, but so are people with diabetes, otitis media. Hypertension alone affects almost 50% of the population. And the complexity of the interaction of the basic sciences, and in turn with the pharmacology, is truly extraordinary. This is something that is harder to learn. And a good medical school, and make no mistake, WAUSM is a very good medical school. We have great faculty, and they are really moved and excited about integrating basic with the clinical sciences, and I think they do it well. To become a good doctor, you need more than knowledge, skills, and analytic thinking. You need to nurture the best of humanity in each of you. A patient trusts us to do a history and a physical. They trust us with their most intimate worries and fears and concerns and questions they don't even tell other family members. We have to take that with all the humility and honor that it deserves. It's not easy to tell a patient or a family member they have cancer, or they're dying, or they had a miscarriage. It's not easy to tell an elderly man that he no longer should be allowed to drive. But these are the things you have to do. You have to do it with empathy, and that empathy begins with your colleagues and helping each other get through. So it is a given that medical school will change you in very substantial ways. The challenge to you is, can you and your classmates across the globe change medicine in substantial ways? Can you make it more humane? Can you make it more egalitarian? Can you make it more receptive to the other health professions that you work with? Can you make it more understanding of the culture and the religions and the people that people come from? And to remember one fundamental thing, that the essence of patient care begins with caring for the patient. Thank you, and Godspeed.
And now, for the moment we have all been waiting for, the donning of the white coats. Each of your coats have been pinned with a gold lapel pin engraved with a heart. The pins are a gift from the Arnold P. Gold Foundation, a public foundation dedicated to fostering humanism in medicine. At this time, I would like to welcome Ms. Jennifer Dennis, Senior Associate Dean, Student Operations and Finance, to the podium to call our faculty and students to the stage.
Dr. Tanya Arana is going to don Amanda Baumer. Delvinae Anika Beckles. Jared Clayton. Dr. Takia DeVoe. Dr. DeVoe will don Brittany Dodero. Deborah Drew. Thomas Ebersole. Dr. Omer Elchi. Dr. Elchi will don Christopher Erlenbaugh. Cesar Garcia. Brooke Gillick. Dr. Scott Ippolito. Dr. Ippolito will don Peyton Ham. Christopher Hewitt. Andrian Johnson. Dr. Nicole Reeves. Dr. Reeves will now don Abhinav Katuru. Razy Marquis. Tanisha Mackenzie. Dr. Joretta Roberts Carey. Dr. Roberts Carey will now don Jessica Noel Page. Danielle Reitherman. Eric Rishmiller. Dr. Nancy Selfridge. Dr. Selfridge will don Marcos Alejandro Rodriguez. Brianna Rogers. Dr. Bruce Wright. Dr. Wright will don Dan Tan. Leah Trey. Dr. Leor Zellner. Dr. Zellner will don Peyton Euler. And Marvelyn Vernon.
I'd now like to welcome Assistant Professor Dr. Takaya DeVoe to the stage to lead the Physician's Pledge.
Good afternoon. At this time, I'd like to ask all students and any physicians present who would like to recite the Physician's Pledge to please stand, Raise your right hand and repeat after me. As a member of the medical profession, I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of humanity. The health and well-being of my patients will be my first consideration. I will respect the autonomy and dignity of my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will not permit considerations of age, disease, or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me, even after the patient has died. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity, and in accordance with good medical practice. I will foster the honor and noble traditions of the medical profession. I will give to my teachers, colleagues, and students the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will share my medical knowledge for the benefit of the patient and the advancement of healthcare. I will attend to my own health, well-being, and abilities in order to provide care of the highest standard. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Welcome.
I would now like to welcome our Senior Associate Dean of Student Affairs, Dr. Tanya Rana, to close today's ceremony.
So before closing officially the ceremony, I'm going to send all of you guys with a little homework. A challenge. Better than a homework. I would like for you to, or I challenge you to write on a piece of paper, whatever piece of paper you want, a cute one or just a sticky note, all the attributes of who you want to be as a physician. And stick it on your mirror where you get ready every day to come to school, to go to the clinic, to go see your patients, and read those attributes every single day and challenge yourself to represent who you want to be as a physician every day in your every action. And if you have it there, it's going to be fresh in your mind every day when you go, and you can be the best student and physician that you can be. So I hope you're going to take that challenge and be the best physician you can be. very soon. So, this concludes our fourth WAUSM White Coat Ceremony. I would like to thank Kevin Tomlinson for his musical accompaniment. Thank you to Mr. James Drucker, the Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, and his team, who have been taking photographs and live stream the ceremony for everybody. Thank you. And of course, I would like to applaud the Office of Student Affairs and WAUSM colleagues who assisted in the production of this great ceremony today. So at this time, we will take official photographs of the students, and we'll give family and friends an opportunity to take the photographs after the official WAUSM photographs. So please remain seated for the family members until we invite you to come and take photographs of your son, daughter. I was going to say your students, and then you can join us all for a little not ceremony, but light refreshments in the foyer. So thank you all for coming, and let's continue to celebrate this event.